uh, of meeting someone for the first time. Picture this. I don't know this person very well, and she has invited me to coffee at a local coffee house, it's a beautiful, cute little place, to network, get to know each other. And I said, yes, sure. So I show up, and the next 35, 45 minutes were very interesting because this woman kept talking and talking and talking about herself. I was very intrigued by this because I thought, we were here to get to know each other a little bit. And, I suppose everyone loves to talk about I, me, myself, and some of us like to actually listen too. And after a while, I realized I just sat there and watched her as she kept talking and talking about herself. And not once in 45 minutes did she ask, Adele, what do you do? Or tell me what's going on in your world, or what's happening. Now, this has happened to me before. So I decided this time to just observe for my own research. And I sat there and watched her as she was going on and on about herself, her business, and all these things. She's asking me to help her in her business. And of course, I'm happy to offer any help I can if I have something that could be useful. But I was more interested in watching her energy. And it occurred to me, it's not that she's naturally self-centered. She just doesn't know how to have a conversation. A lot of people who may come across self-centered, constantly talking about themselves, I think what's really happening is they don't know how to do this thing called conversation. That pauses and silence really make them uncomfortable. So they keep talking. And that's interesting to me. And I just sat there and watched. And as she was going on and on, very nice lady, and I said something to the effect of, well, if you're looking for help with your business, who are you partnering with? There was a lot of discussion about how she was wanting to get referrals from people. And I said, partner, like, who are you referring people to? Well, that was interesting, and I thought, aha, so, and I said, it's useful when you're out there talking to people to just take a breath and kind of listen to where people are coming from and, take in the moment. And she said, oh, well, I have no problem with that with clients. And okay, so she's trying to get clients and she's trying to tell me. Anyway, I was just so intrigued with this energetic dynamic. And I realized some people just feel at a loss of how to talk to people. I think these things have made everybody nervous about space, or maybe there's this need to fill in the space as much as possible. If there's space, well, doggone, I'm going to fill it and let you know all about me. And if you notice this happens to you, because it has certainly happened to me before, here's some pet phrases. Just program that into your brain, and you will never have to worry about accidentally taking over a conversation and doing all the talking. Now, if you're on the other side and you feel like you're just forever being swallowed up in someone who's talking and talking, well, there's also another dynamic going on there in terms of taking up space so you don't feel like you're somebody's therapist. Now, that's a different dynamic. Both are off. And we tend to lean towards one or the other subconsciously, right? So I have been guilty of both. It's just I'm more aware of what's happening. For me personally, if I keep yapping, it's usually out of a sense of nervousness. I'm self-conscious. I don't feel very interesting. I feel like I got to blurt out something, or you're going to think I'm boring, that you won't like me. That's a different dynamic than someone who's truly self-absorbed. Let me tell you about me. Now, both are possible, but if you're not aware of this nuance, it can really piss you off, right? When someone's going on and on. And if you don't have a way of dancing with that, Well, I'll do that in another video, because you need both. So if you're in the camp of, oh my God, do I accidentally take over conversations because I'm so nervous and I can't stand to just have a silent moment? Well, here are a couple of things that might be useful. Next time you're out with people, practice just for a moment. Count to 5 or 10 of just experience what that's like, and notice if inside you start jumping, like, oh my God, I've got to really make this happen. Like it's very uncomfortable. Or is the energy one of curiosity? Because even if you just try to keep your mouth shut and wait for the other person to stop talking, which is what usually happens at networking events, and it doesn't fool anybody, that's only half, it's not the full Monty, right? Because there's no real communication going on. Wouldn't you agree? You're just waiting for the other person to stop talking so that you can get your word in edgewise. I've been guilty of that. And who hasn't? Let's, hey, we're just being real honest here of what happens in the dance, the energetic dance between people. Because this is part of what is making interactions with humanoids, other people, clients, your boss, your spouse, so fraught with stress. We don't really know how to talk to each other. My whole, what I do with people started from that, because I don't know how to do this. I only know how to talk at you, which is the same energy of someone who's very shy, who doesn't say anything at all. It's the same thing. But anyway, back to what I was saying. If you discover your tendency to blurt this week, just practice 10 seconds of not talking. And just experiment what happens. Now, you might feel like, well, if I don't say anything, I'm going to get run over by a Mack truck from the other person because they're going to keep yapping. Well, that's only if your own energetic state is not fully present, right? So we got to work on that. Do you feel uncomfortable that you've got to reach down from the heavens and blurt out something helpful? Do you feel at a loss? Or is it a relaxed, comfortable, like whales dancing? We use words because we don't have anything else right now. But if the energy is more blurting, and I just sat there and watched this woman, like, wow, how can you have so much to say? And I would just listen, and she'd go on. And normally I might have done what I do to sort of balance the equation so that, hey, this networking conversation that's gone on for 45 minutes isn't all about what you need from me. But today I was just sort of in a research mood, just observing and going, this happens everywhere when people don't know how to talk to each other. So practice silence. Another one might be these stock phrases of, what's going on in your world? What's going on in your world? Or what do you think? I don't know. These open-ended, rather than picking out specific facts out of people, which is, it's okay, but I have found it more useful to just be in an open, curious state of, yeah, what's happening? Now, the art of conversation that's typically taught might be, well, don't ask closed-ended questions, right? We all know what closed-ended questions are, right? If you don't know, it means a question that has either a yes or a no. So we're groomed to ask, well, tell me where you're from. Tell me where you grew up. Those are useful. But the ultimate dance is one of curiosity and just practice that. If it's a technique, people don't feel the full connection. And we're all pretty sharp. We know when someone is just sort of going through the motions. I think we've all been around people that they've inserted little phrases that they've learned, like to just make sure you're still there. It's better than nothing. But these are things that you can just repeat, tell me about you, what's going on, what's happening in your world, that these are things I typically start a lot of my client work like that, or I might start what would make today an awesome conversation. See, I'm not dictating anything. I'm just in the end, the pure potential of the moment. And that is what pulls out a better quality of conversation, not necessarily more words. I think we can all read we're yapping at each other too much. So I hope this is useful. I hope this gives you some sense that when people are yapping away about themselves, it's not always because they're self-centered. Could be. It could also be they've lost the art of how to talk to each other. I sat and watched this woman, like, wow, the number of words coming out, and I was groovy with that, and how and why she's struggling with attracting clients. Oh, good. Hi, Emily. I'm talking about how to talk to people because I sucked at it for so many years. And so I was around this person today who's trying to build her practice, who's trying to tell me she's awesome with one-on-one conversations, but somehow she can't attract clients. I think there could be a connection, don't you think? And so this art of conversation could be really useful from an energetic whale pinging standpoint, and not, okay, I'm going to wait for you to stop talking so I can say something. So one of these next clips, I'll put on something of what to do when you're on the other side, when you're somebody who, in the space of silence, feels like, what do I say? It's almost like there's a pressure that I've got to speak. It's the opposite. Or maybe I want to say something in the moment. There's a break. And I've got something I want to say, but I just can't get it out. And then the moment passes. You've been through that? You're in a group. There are 10 billion people all talking at once, all throwing your energy around, and you would like to contribute something, and you're waiting for just a little opening, and poof, it came and went. And then you're like, dang, I didn't say something. These are all energetic dances that have to do with the art of conversation. And I am interested in talking about conversation because it's unique to humanoids. Animals have conversations too, but frankly, they're better at it because it's pure energetic conversation. We have these things like words and concepts, and we are horrible communicators sometimes. And without being able to understand the dance of connection and conversation, it's difficult to attract the kind of relationships you want. And then it's difficult to create the kind of life you want. Because what we have to say in the moment hints at our purpose, our special sauce, the reason why we're here, our gift. Everything happens in the moment, and that involves conversation. So back to this woman at networking, I, can't really say if I feel the need to forward or refer her to anybody. Couldn't really get in an word edgewise, but I was just struck by this, the energy is one of these, let me get your attention, and we wonder why connection is so poor. This is especially the case for solopreneurs, coaches, anyone who has a message to say. Do you know when to stop talking and listen? Or is everything a big marketing blast? I hate that. And yeah, Emmy, I know you hate it too. We're we're both sensitive. And we're not going to be just crowded out either. So next video, I'll talk about when it's the opposite, when you're in front of someone and you have something to say and it's just not flowing. So if you've dealt with this, or you have friends that are sitting with people who just sort of verbally dump on them, share this with them. It's really more an exploration into your energetic state and some pocket phrases you can put and whip out at any time, rather than a technique of what to say. If they say this, then you say that, and that's just too much work. Okay, so I hope this is useful. I just thought it was a very interesting 45-minute networking conversation today. Goodness gracious. Now, if any of you have any suggestions on how to know up front who is a good networker and who just makes you go home going, oh my God, let me know, because I haven't figured that part out yet. Okay? Have an awesome New Year's Eve. Till then, rock it on. Rock out. Bye.